Andersen.
The cars that we've been able to collect since starting this channel absolutely blows my mind. And the fact that we now have not one, but two manual swap C55 AMGs is even crazier. Today, you're gonna see the final part of this journey of how we got this thing running with a 6-speed gearbox. Hope you guys enjoy. See you soon. Quick interruption, guys. If you want a chance to support the channel and I have a collection piece of the Mars Red C55, I released some new designs you guys can pick up at andersen.co. Anything you buy helps out the channel and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to Channel Andersen and welcome to the final episode of our Mars Red C55 manual swap. I'm here with Mike and my son decided to join us as well. We are getting everything prepped. Yeah, he's down there. Say what's up.
What's up?
We're getting everything prepped to get the motor back in. For those that saw the whole debacle of the oil pan adventure, I've got everything sorted back on the motor and we've got it kind of lifted up right now to get the exhaust back on, and then we're going to go ahead and hoist the transmission up. Don't know what happened to my GoPro, but it's being weird. Otherwise I get you guys some good shots on there, but I'll try to use this camera and get you guys a glimpse of that. Basically throwing in the transmission. You guys already saw the pedals and everything get thrown in for episode 2. So yeah, it's really the last thing to do, transmission, and then figure out our shift linkage and drive shaft. So catch you guys up to speed as we go. All right, you guys, Mike's on here, got the exhaust back up. We got the transmission on the jack ready to go. I filled it up. I'm using ATF this time. It's a little bit of a debate, but we're gonna try it out, see if it works. My buddy Alex has been running that in his car for a while. I was always running the GL4 stuff prior, but I think it should be okay, so I'll keep you guys posted on that. But I will leave you guys here to see what you can, and maybe switch you around once we get it closer up there. Come towards you a little bit.
Go ahead.
Is it started in the front? Or?
Yeah, I think so. I just turned the flywheel when I spun that.
Okay.
Let me look at the base of it and see. Yeah, it's pretty even. Actually, might want to let it down just a little bit.
Okay.
See if we get a different angle. There.
More?
A little bit more.
There you go. Felt
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Okay, go. Let me see if I can get a different angle here. See where we're at. Yeah, that's in, I think. It's definitely very close. All right, let's do this bottom side over here, the driver's side. Pull it in just a hair. Don't be scared.
Oh, God. Why don't we pull it in from the side ones and not the
We can do that.
oil pan? Well, I mean, I'm just trying to...
Yeah, it's almost touching all the way around, it looks like.
Let me try to let this down a little bit.
Don't let it down.
No?
No.
Okay.
It'll pull the top apart.
Okay. Should I go up at all? Or?
I can't really see how far to the top there, but I think it's, if we look at the top, it might be flush up there.
Let's see.
I mean, I think we're really, really even.
Alright guys.
You can see the top and see if it's split apart or...
Yeah, just like a millimeter or two.
Yeah, that's just about where the bottom's at too. So
Guys.
I think we're in and good.
So we're that far away right now, guys.
We should get all the, we should be able to get all the bolts in.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna do the one that's just below the starter.
Start the two up top.
I think we didn't bring the tool for that, did we?
The Torx.
Yeah.
Alright guys, well this is our contraption that we've done 3 times now pretty much. That's how far away we are. So pretty close. I think we're in a good spot. So try to get some of the bolts lined up, not the oil pan ones, and get that little millimeter gap to go away. Alright guys, we're still tightening up, but look at that. No more gap. Sheesh. Alright guys, transmission is officially bolted on, all cinched down. I just finished up the last 2 bolts up top. I am simultaneously pulling off the cowl and the windshield wiper assembly so I can get to our little, what's called fitting. I got my bronze one that I picked up earlier, a brass one. So I'll throw that in there, and then that should be everything with the motor back in. Everything's plugged in now. All I gotta do is this last little evap line and get our airbox assembly on. So, making progress. Catch up with you guys in a moment. Alright guys, Mike's heading out. Thank you. I gotta finish up little details, and I'll have to measure out the shift rod and all that stuff. I'll probably cut it at work, and we'll catch up with you guys soon.
Yeah.
Once it's ready to drop off of here and finally go on its maiden voyage. So check back with you guys in a while. Alright you guys, well I'm more motivated than ever to try to get this thing buttoned up all the way, and I'm just mentioning it real quick. I've done multiple videos on this and mentioned it and many more, but that plastic fitting in the back, guys, if you got any Mercedes, pretty much, like honestly I think they run these on every chassis from the late 80s till 2000s. Do yourself a favor, at least check these, because when they decide to go bad, whatever, it's gonna just shoot steam out of your cowl and you're gonna lose all your coolant, and depending on where you're at, might be a bad situation, might be sticky, hairy, whatever, but yeah, it's just an easy fix. $4 brass fitting, 1-inch brass fitting. I just use a straight. You can get crafty and do a T if you want to keep your windshield washer reservoir with the heated fluid, but I don't need to. So anyways, I'm gonna get that finished up, and after that I gotta get the pedals in and mount our reservoir, because I'm gonna run a separate reservoir versus tying it in with the brake system. And yeah, that's gonna be one of the biggest things left, and then it's just figuring out a length for the shift rod. So I don't normally get too high or too low, regardless of situations. Sometimes I'll get super excited and, you know, I'll be like animated for myself, whatever, maybe even on camera, but deep down inside right now, I do feel a good, very good feeling to know, hey, we finally just bolted the transmission up and corrected probably the biggest, you know, mechanical mistake I ever made. So it feels really good, but I'm also like, I don't know, I forgave myself a while ago and I just accepted what happened and moved on and fixed it. And it doesn't really feel like, yeah, dude, it's not like that. It's just, it feels good though. But yeah, just thought I would say that. So let's move on. What's going on, you guys? We are picking up part 3, and to be honest, I can't even remember where I left off in the videos, but I got a little momentum and I just started chugging away at some stuff, and I figured I should probably pick up the camera, get you guys up to speed with what we got going on. Down here is my mess. Just created a shift linkage, basically. You guys have seen my idea at some point in the series now, where I just grabbed this, what's the exact measurements of this bar? 1/4 inch thickness and 3/4 width, and then 36 inches. And I cut it down. I measured basically like around 17 inches length, and then I'm boring out these holes. I think they're about 10 millimeters, maybe like closer to 11. So I tried to oval them out a little bit to make it easy. This is just a bolt I know that is the proper size to fit through our shift linkage knuckle and our shifter. So those will be good. I already basically mocked up the front, and then I used that to get our second hole over here. I did get it a little thin on this edge, but it's not going to hurt. This stuff is super strong, so definitely not going to be an issue. So yeah, that's what I got going on. I'm going to get this cleaned up, and then I will show you guys underneath what it looks like installed. And one other thing before I forget to talk about it is I thought we were good to go on our drive shafts. These are out of C230 compressor coupes, I believe. Part number on them is 03506. I can't see the full part number anymore, but that should tell you kind of what you need. Oh, this one's a little better. I have 2 of them. One of them I had laying around, and another one Andrew gave to me, auto informant. So 203 410 5506. Yes, that's correct. So anyways, I thought these were going to be good. The measurement was close. I knew it was going to be close because these measure around 29 inches in length, but I just don't think it's going to go anymore. So I'm going to be on the hunt tonight for a Crossfire drive shaft, since I know those fit for sure, and they're the thinner style, which is kind of nice because it gives you a little more clearance for the shifter. Otherwise, I'm a bit worried that our shifter bottom is going to interfere with the drive shaft. Like in this car, it was doing that. I had a lot of back and forth to go. And oh yeah, by the way, guys, this is my this is my other manual swap C55. So I thought it'd be fun, give me a little motivation to bring this into the garage and sit it next to the red C55 here. Kind of give me a little boost of momentum, like I said, for finishing this project, because it's been freezing cold and there's been all types of trials and tribulations in this project, like pulling the engine and reinstalling. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. If it was like summertime, I probably would have jammed this out in 2-3 days, but with it being 15 degrees this past weekend and just kind of crappy weather besides that and working on other projects, I've been procrastinating. So yeah, we're trying to get back on it, but let me clean this up. Like I said, I'll show you guys underneath. All right, guys, got that vacuumed up. Found one other piece of hardware. This was something I was trying out for the clutch pedal assembly, actually. Found these cool little like stainless pieces of hardware. So I'm going to use that just for temporary to slide this into place and keep it held down. Probably not going to really be able to shift it without it falling apart. I'll try to get a nut onto the front side, but the front side I'm going to have to do something kind of fancy like this because space is limited. There's a little like ear on the side of the transmission next to the shifter knuckle, and it's going to make it a little interesting for what hardware I'll be able to use in the front. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I got. Let's just head under there and see what I'm working with. All right, you guys, welcome. Something I don't think I filmed just because it's easy, but I got the cross member in place. That is all good to go. Creative steel transmission mount is in place as well. I made this ground cable. We have our clutch line hanging right there. That'll get connected and routed through our grommet there anyways. This is what we're looking like. There is the bottom of our shifter, and our shift knuckle is hidden behind our flex disc right there. So let me go ahead and get this set up and I'll show you how it looks. All right guys, so there we go. We have probably 2 to 3 millimeters of clearance right there above the flex disc. And then that's what it looks like right now. Obviously the hardware is not finalized, just hanging in place, but I think this is gonna work out pretty good, to be honest. The only thing I am concerned about is drive shaft clearance. So at most I will need to basically space up the shifter. This is a prototype from Kangaroo's team. It's the first time they ever tried this with the 203. So, you know, they're not like 100% sure with what type of shift linkage, etc. drive shaft you're going to run. So with the skinnier drive shaft, I think this might clear. But with the thicker one that we have, if we do end up having to modify that one and just lengthening it, it's going to make it a bit tricky. So I think I might end up having to clearance it out. But let's go up top and see if we can actually shift this thing. All right, you guys, and here's the mess inside. I just have the console set to the side. Our pedal sitting down here waiting to get installed. Oh, let me slide in here. All right. Oh yeah, it's not gonna do anything right now without it. Well, kind of. Yeah, we're shifting. But oh, not anymore. It just fell off. Well, we got a couple shifts in. Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen without everything tied down. So anyways, that's good at least. We know we got that part done. So really it just comes down to drive shaft and if we're gonna need to space up our shifter or not. So that will conclude that part of the shifter. I gotta get back to that once I have some more answers and have the proper hardware. All right guys, next morning, found a nice band-aid out of my son's collection for my nose. And yeah, we're ready to go. We got drive shaft, trans mounts, O2 sensors, shift linkage, and then all the little tiny sub brackets and shielding, stuff like that. But see what we can do. Look at these guys, they're just what are you doing, man? You're supposed to be helping. Right, and I look crazy. I think I just got the shift linkage hooked up, so let's see. I can't tell for sure yet because we might need clutch, but I feel like I have first. I can't tell what's going on here, to be honest. Reverse is supposed to be locked out. I'm wondering if I'm running out of room on the shifter.
You were up so late last night.
We don't know
What were you doing?
how we fix this. Insane. Say cheese.
Cheeseburger.
We are going to a store. So say that we are going to a store.
We're going to a car show. We're going to a car show.
We are going to a store so on May 1st.
On May 1st?
On May 1st.
Oh. Oh.
All right, you guys, what is going on? We are getting very close with this thing. I worked on it a bunch last night. Didn't have you guys out here with me just because GoPro was not feeling it in the cold. And honestly, it was just a lot of like tidying up and buttoning up underneath. But I'm going to show you guys what I got going on under there. Interior is pretty much all buttoned up. I do need to find the wider base shifter center console from the late model manual 203s. But this thing will work for now. That's the C55 automatic shift knob that I put on there. I'd like to get the manual knob. I can also order that. So I think I'll put an order tonight for those. And I cannot find this trim piece. I have one in the silver C55, but cannot find it right now on eBay. So I got to wait around until I get lucky and find one, or I just buy the bigger shift boot and basically cut this thing to accept that. Pedals are all in. let me grab our light over here real quick. I'm gonna show you guys a better look at this stuff. Yeah, pedals there, everything's all buttoned up, vacuumed, the carpets, and yeah, everything's just sitting. And I haven't vacuumed the rest of the car. The rest of the car is pretty dirty, but we're not really concerned about that right now. Let me show you guys underneath, as well as we got our reservoir. I'm pretty sure I've showed you guys this by now, but reservoir is there. Had an awesome bleeding method that I showed you guys. I think that's the last time we had the videos going. Before I get too distracted, I'm trying to track down a set of either tires for this thing. These front tires are okay. They're good Continental sports contact, whatever they're called, control contacts, DW, whatever they are, like DW S6 or DW 06, whatever they're called, I can't remember. And these are, I think, a 2019 date code, not 2018, so not terrible. They still have plenty of tread on them, but I'm looking for a set of tires, especially because the rears are pretty shot, and they're 2017, I think, so I can do some test drives on them, but nothing that I want to keep. So I've been contemplating just trying to find a whole new wheel and tire setup, but we'll see. These don't look bad on here. I honestly don't like the, like, you know, chrome trim, chrome ring wheels very much on any car, but I think these actually look pretty good on the red, so we'll see. Trying to be money efficient, but let me show you guys underneath where we've left off, and give myself a reminder right now, the last few things I need to button up. So I have made our exhaust brackets, are not made, but the only modification you have to do with the manual cars is it's sitting a little further back. So I just use one of the exhaust nuts and, you know, a little carrier bolt on the back. So I cut that in half, cut this off so that I still have access to this transmission mount bolt. And yeah, that's plenty solid. And then this one can sit. So this is how the mount looks, you know, before I cut off that piece on the other side. And then I just mount one over there, and I still have the nut on this side. And this is plenty solid, like it's not going anywhere. And then we got, you know, our two bolts underneath with rubber mounts to isolate that little NVH and stuff that can come through there. Up here towards the back, we have our drive shaft loop protection. And then what I need to do right now is I'm gonna pull off the heat shields, because I forgot to check if I tightened down the carrier bearing. So I haven't tightened any of these down yet. These are just hand tight on here. So I'm gonna pull these little retaining nuts off, slide this up, and slide this one back so I can just get to those two bolts that are on that to double check that. And then literally the last thing I gotta do is, once I have this on the ground, tighten up our three drive shaft bolts for the flex disc. And the reason I gotta wait is because I need the tires off of the race ramps so that I can spin them, so that we can get access to all the bolts there. So yeah, we're literally there, guys. Like, this is insane. It has been a freaking journey, but we're there. So I'm gonna get to working on these last few things, and I'll catch up with you guys shortly. All right, guys, I was able to finish up everything down here. Actually was able to get the three bolts tight that I needed to without getting the car off the ramps yet. And our center carrier bearing was still tight, so just wanted to double check that. But yeah, everything is done. Everything. Transit's got fluid. I need to find the little rubber cover for this. Matter of fact, let's go check my two spare 7/16s. See if we can find one of those plugs. All right, final piece of the puzzle. Let me get the part number for this, because I'll probably have to buy another one. A203-264-0257. throw this on real quick. Yeah. All right, and should go like that. Which way? It's gotta go that way. All right, this might take two hands. Give me a sec. All right, guys, and now I can say she's officially buttoned up. Only thing left off right now is the belly pan, but I'm gonna leave that off for the time being, just so first start we can have an easier look at everything. But man, what a journey! What a journey! Can't even really believe this right now, guys. It's awesome. This is the third one down. We've officially manual swapped 3 Benz V8s, 2 M113 C55s, and 1 M119 E420 124 chassis. So cool. I definitely learned a whole lot on this one. I'm not going to get into all the reflection. I'll save that for after I drive it and all of that, but this is awesome. Few little things I didn't mention. Funny, threw on the new hood struts. I got our airbox, everything all situated. I haven't done the catch can setup yet. I will do that, but it's just stock PCV system for now. And yeah, I'm really happy with how this has turned out. Really happy with some of the discoveries that I made on this journey, I guess, to make it easier for the next time. I'm sure there's going to be a next time and probably multiple next times. But yeah, I will catch you guys Saturday morning. It's kind of tradition at this point. Mike and I got to take it for the first drive. We did it on the first silver C55 with the E420. So I'm waiting for him. I'm going to go get this thing registered tomorrow, Friday, and then Saturday, take it out on his first drive. All right, guys, the 3 Musketeers are back, and it's Saturday morning. It is. He's gonna help us. We were trying to get off the ramps and start it up. You want to show him? Okay, here you go.
So here Papa is at that, and
We got the 2 Musketeers and 1 Mouseketeer.
let's just stick to it.
What a sight for sore eyes, guys. Finally back on the ground. That's my least favorite part of the jobs, is getting it off of the race ramps afterwards. It's pretty safe, but it just feels sketchy a bit. But yeah, back on the ground. I have the fuel pump relay out right now so I can prime it a few times and plug it in. This is also our first time starting it since we did the whole engine pull and replaced the pan and all that stuff. So yeah, it looks good. I forgot how good it looks on the ground. But let's get it on to the next step. All right, guys, we are going for the first start. Like I said, fuel pump relay is sitting out right now. Try to build up a little bit of oil pressure. Flashlight. Oh my God, these seats are so easy to get into. That was funny. All right, here we go. Okay, we're in neutral. I'll put the clutch down just in case. Let me move the door up. Seat is like crazy far back. Let me also move the steering wheel up. Okay. I can reach the clutch. All right, here we go. All right, I think that'll do it. Okay. Come on now. There we go. Okay. All right, here we go, guys. Keeping it up high just to fill up the lifters.
Is that the first time you started this?
Yeah. I keep revving it.
Yeah, you can hurt it.
All right. We got a major smoke show back here, guys. Oh man. And also remember, the motor was upside down for quite a while, so it's probably oil in places it wasn't supposed to be. Woo! Okay, I think she's smooth for the most part. Wait. Smoothed out?
Yeah, it's clearing out a little bit.
I just want to make sure I got rid of the lifter tick.
Yeah.
Fill them up. Sheesh, man. It's a little smoky in here. You might want to get out there, dude. Get out of the garage.
I want to be with you.
I know, we're all gonna go out. Let's all go out here.
Oh.
Woo!
Let it clear out a little bit.
All right, one step down.
Get rid.
Oh my god, it's going all over the place. Okay, well,
High five together.
triple high five. Oh,
Ready,
Whatever
set,
with
come on.
you.
oh yeah, triple. Yeah, there we go.
Bam.
Oh. Okay. I might need to fill up coolant also. Should be okay for now. My goodness.
It's lingering in here.
So I try to, hey, you stand over by the black car. I don't want you anywhere near this, dude. All right, guys. First moment of truth. I'm gonna try to back it out. Let Mike hold you guys.
Oop. Not letting it go into gear? You got, does it feel like you got good clutch or not?
Maybe not, I don't know. I mean, I thought so, but maybe not. No, I don't think so. Damn it!
Is there an adjustment under there for a
No.
pedal push on it?
Yeah, it's a clutch. Oh, wait.
There, went into some gear there.
What's that noise though?
Well, what happens when you put it in gear and then just no, not reverse, just forward? Has it got any? Nope. There you go. Yeah, it's got good. I mean, it's down low. It looks like.
Watch out.
There you go. Hang on. It's just the race deck. Okay.
Maze behind you?
Yeah, he's over here. He's clear.
Clutch is way different than my car.
Is it?
It feels good, but it's way different.
Give it a couple of revs and see if it'll clear a little bit more. Hey, don't do that. Yeah. So a little, might be mainly steam, but might just take a little bit more heat.
Well, it was a little eventful at the beginning, but
Yeah. Pop the hood. Looks like it's still smoking a bit. Might be just burning the oil off.
Hey,
That type of thing. Oil on the exhaust or something.
Want that one?
Be careful over there, okay? Don't stick your fingers in there or anything.
yeah. All right. Now we got a real high five. Okay, well, maybe it was just kind of stuck in place. That's why I didn't want to go into gear at first, but a couple of pumps in the clutch and it went back to normal. It could have just had, I don't know, like the last little bit of air or something, or the trans was just kind of stuck from sitting for so long. But once it went in, it feels really good. Actually, the engagement is much different than the silver car. It's a lot more like instant, and yeah, just different feel, but feels good. And shifter feels good. I went into all the gears nice, well, as far as first and reverse right now, but we got to take it out for a drive and see how it does. All right guys, coolant dropped down a little bit. I got the heat on right now, so I'll fill that up once I shut it off, but besides that, it seems to be running pretty good. And I think we're ready for a quick maiden voyage. I tried to go get the registration done this morning, but wasn't able to, so can't really take it too far. And I gotta wait till Monday. We're gonna throw tires on the rear for it. So once that's done, then I can actually, you know, like take it out and about. But for now, we'll just take it for a quick cruise around the neighborhood. But yeah, so far pretty happy with things. It's alive after a long time.
It's been that long.
Way longer than anticipated, but also learned a lot along the way, so pretty good. I just drove the silver C55 this morning, so it'll be a nice fresh comparison between the two. So dang, this thing looks good. Mars Red is a is a beautiful color, and like I said before, I really don't like the trim ring styles with the black and chrome trim ring on wheels, but on this car for some reason it works really well, so not opposed to it. Put some studs on this thing and a spacer kit, be standing nicely. Sheesh, this thing is beautiful, man. Okay, got the coolant filled up and we're gonna go for a test drive. Before I wash it off, we'll bring it back and I'm gonna give it a bath straight away because it's super dusty, and even though the paint's got some clear coat failure here and there on the bumpers, the rest of it is in pretty good shape, so I think it'll shine up nice even with just a normal wash. I do have plans to meet up with buddies who have a body shop for them to take a look at the bumpers to see if they think they can just re-clear them. The front bumper does need a little bit of repair, but nothing too crazy. Just some cracks and stuff. Can be plastic welded, but yeah, let's go for our first official drive.
I get the same thing at home.
All right, guys. Roshi said I could keep it, so. Oh my god. All right, first thing, guys, is it's so easy to get in this car because I'm used to having Recaros, but anyways, it's so quiet. It's a stock car compared to mine. Yeah. I got check engine light for something. Should I scan it? Alright, guys, I'm gonna assume that check-in is for the EGR. Maybe I should scan it. I don't know. Before we leave. Run it. Okay. Alright, guys. We got the 3 engineers of the project. Maze, you helped us, right? So you got to go with us? Yeah. Yep. All right. He's going on the first drive. The shifter trim, like we talked about, there's another one that has a bigger opening. I'm going to try to get that, but okay, clutch on this car, guys, is like immediate off of the floor compared to the silver car. The silver car is pretty high up compared to this. Let's see if I can put is my shade stuck? Yeah. All right, rear shade is stuck right now.
Bye, Mom. If it's
Okay, first, second, third. My first time having the Kangaroos team kit on the M113. That's what we used on the E420, but it's been a while since I drove that car, so it's hard to remember exactly what it felt like, and kind of a completely different setup and stuff. So What do you think, dude? What do you think? Are you falling asleep? Oh. Oh, okay.
Brakes feel okay?
Yeah.
Those front wheels were.
Yeah, they're a little toast.
Yeah.
I think we might need to bleed the clutch.
Sad.
It's got a lot of play.
When that nose was funny, then test it out if it's at till watch it.
Okay.
Okay? When that nose was funny.
Okay. Oh, that's why it's so hot in here.
It's on?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Alright, I think the other weirdest thing that's going on right now in my mind is like, I haven't driven a stock one of these cars for a long time now, so it feels weird to be in a normal version of the car. But it feels nice.
Well, that was one of our jobs.
That's one of our jobs right there.
Yeah. What do other jobs with Papa?
If you're bleeding, it might go away a little bit.
Maybe. Yeah, it's like, I got like half an inch of,
And it starts
Yeah.
catching.
yeah. Alright guys, we may need to bleed things again. This is the same noise that we heard on the E420 after the first couple drives. I'll have to look back on my old videos and see what if I change anything to make it help that noise, but yeah, first drive in the books at least. And we made it back home. So, see smoke?
But just from the exhaust.
There's a lot of oil on the exhaust.
Yeah.
Alright,
Take a little
shut it
time.
down.
Dang it, we need to fix it again.
Yeah,
Dang.
gonna be a bit of a trial and error process. Alright, you guys, well, I guess this means we have officially reached the end of the Mars Red C55 manual swap series. Ended on a pretty good note there, and my son finishing it off with a funny quote there felt like was, I don't know, par for the course, I guess, for everything it takes to do these swaps and mess with these cars, whatever. Is always going to be a bit of trial and error, like I said. But before we get too far right now, my closing thoughts and all that, I wanted to cover kind of what I feel like I missed in the series, or maybe didn't miss, but the footage might have got lost, etc. There's definitely a chunk of footage that got lost in all of this just because it was hours and hours of compiling and collecting and sorting and all that stuff. So first thing that somehow I don't think it was mentioned in the series, even though it was definitely mentioned beforehand. There's been so many videos on this car before we started the manual swap official series that I definitely have told you guys. Josh, Mercedes Swap Shop, was the one who did the ECU on this car. It was basically like the first week or so after I got the car, I sent the ECU to him for him to program it as a manual. So that is why the car works as is with no TCM, no electronic shifter installed in the car anymore, which you can do if you want to drive it temporarily after you complete a swap on these cars. Most of the ME 2.0s, ME 2.8s, you can do that. Aside from the compressor cars, those ones need a little more love to get the supercharger to work. So definitely hit up Josh if you guys are trying to swap any of these cars, and especially compressor car. But yeah, I felt like I should definitely mention that to you guys. Josh has been such a big help to the channel, and definitely has played a big part in this car, in this build. So thank you, Josh, Mercedes Swap Shop, and James as well, Josh's partner over at Mercedes Swap Shop. Yeah, that's the reason the car works. with the ECU as is right now. And it's got a tune on it as well. There's another tune coming up we'll do another video on soon, but that's one thing I definitely missed throughout the series. Number 2 was, I'm just gonna go in kind of order I remember things right now. Shift knuckles. I mentioned it in a part of the video, or like put a blurb up in part of the video, but this was one thing I talked about heavily and lost the footage for. It was actually when the first time we tried to put the transmission in, ended up having the major failure of cracking the oil pan. I did a whole bit, probably 10 minutes of filming about these and installing it on the transmission. By the time I remembered that or realized that I lost that footage, the transmission was already up in the car. And you guys have seen this before because I've done this on the other cars now, but this is the stock linkage that came on the car for the C300. Basically any of the internally reverse locked transmission 716s. So it's basically a swivel up and down, and it has no left and right movement. And this allows you to obviously rotate and move left and right for gear selection. So this was an option. I could have reused this and just welded a rod onto the other end, but the solution I came up with was like as easy as possible. No welding involved, anything, just cutting and drilling, and it works flawlessly. So the reason I ditched that is because I just didn't want to do that. Didn't have to worry about it, even though it's a cool piece. I'm definitely keeping it around because I'm sure this will come in handy in the future. So that's the stock one. What I ended up using is like this basically. So this is another version of a BMW shift knuckle. They're 2 different styles of kind of the same thing. These are used in, I think, older chassis, the ones that look like this, and can allow for a little bit different fitment. I don't know if the length is the same on both of them, but pretty much the same thing. 10mm hole, and then your pin and all that locking collar, it's all the same. So the shafts on these fit perfectly over the Mercedes, whatever you want to call it, rod selector, but the one thing is the holes don't always line up with the pin. So on the one that I put on, I had to oval out the pinhole just a tiny bit to be able to get the pin in there, and by the time I got it in there, it was a very tight fit. Thing is definitely never coming out unless I wanted to. Obviously, I can hammer it out with a punch, but yeah, that's what mine kind of looks like. And then I'll show you guys as well. This is what you would find on the early 716s. This is another version of the shift knuckle, and this is with the cable style shifters. So this acts as your left and right kind of placement. That's why you have an adjustable cable on those cable shifters. And then this top part is where the actual shift rod goes. And in combination with this, it allows it to swivel enough, but not too much where you can't select the gears. This one, however, it's way less direct. You can imagine something swiveling on here it's not going to be as direct of a feel. And I experimented with it a lot when I first did the silver C55 swap, and I could never quite get it to anything that felt good to me. I mean, I wouldn't say that. I guess it felt pretty good, but nothing can compare to what it is now. The cooler work shifter is a big life hack for that, but I think overall I would much rather go with either one of these style over this style. So what I have now actually on the silver C55 is a modified version of this. I chopped this wing off, and this right here looks like a little tow hitch ball. It actually is a bolt, and it comes out of here. There's a 4mm Allen on top of here. You can unbolt this, and what I did is flattened out my stock shift rod and then bolted it to this so that I can get that solid left and right or swiveling movement, rotating movement. So that's what I did for the silver C55. And then the last piece I'll show you guys, if you're an OG and you watch the E420 manual swap series, you saw me use this exact shift knuckle. This is from Garagistic, one of the sponsors of the channel, and definitely threw some parts at me for this build. We didn't actually use anything on this car behind me for this time around. We would have had these gotten to me in time, but that's why I just ended up using the stock BMW one. Otherwise it would have used this, but these will be used for our 190E project, and Garagistic is going to be involved in that. But anyways, tangent. This is offered for them. It's an extended shift joint, and they have the regular size as well, and I think even a smaller one. So this just allows for fitment if you're worried about interference with the Guivo or flex disc or whatever clearances you're trying to get around. This will give you a little bit of option. And super light and nice because it's all billet and it's got a nice bearing inside of it. The stock ones are like a nylon kind of bushing versus an actual spherical bearing like this one. So really nice pieces. I've given them some feedback on this, so I'm trying to get them to make them specifically for the 7/16 transmissions. All that really needs to happen is the depth needs to be bored out a little bit on these, so that the pinholes can line up exactly like I talked about earlier. So that is that as far as shift knuckles go. All right, the next part is I wanted to give a special thank you to Savo, a subscriber of the channel and now a friend of mine, and just a Benz fanatic, just like all of us. I'm sure all of you guys watching would label yourselves as some level of Benz fanatic or Benz head, as I say. And he definitely helped out with a crucial piece, the drive shaft, which is another portion of lost footage. I had a whole spiel where I repainted the drive shaft, I cleaned it up, got it all prepped and ready, and our installing footage, no idea where it went, honestly. But yeah, he sent one out. He sent one out for a W203, and then at the same time, around the time he had reached out, I had ordered, because I didn't know what else to do, I ordered a Chrysler Crossfire one from Europe, and actually from the UK specifically, and didn't know when it was going to show up. I had no tracking on it, no anything, and it ended up showing up like a day or so earlier than the one Savo sent out. So the Crossfire one is the one that ended up going into this car. The W203 one that Savo sent out, I'm going to end up putting in the C55, and the W204 one that is in the C55, I'm going to end up pulling out and keeping in case we do decide to manual swap the CLK55, because the 204 one is a lot beefier and just would be good for the extra torque from the M113K. So that's that, the whole drive shaft scenario. But I just wanted to say thank you to Savo for sending that out, because those are not easy to come by, and I was scouring the internet like a madman trying to find one in time to get this thing buttoned up. So it was definitely a critical piece to the build, so thank you again. All right, a few other things I wanted to mention as well, which you guys saw towards the end of the video. First was the trying to get into reverse. I think it was the transmission was just kind of stiff, and the car was still like, it hadn't moved yet, and sometimes you need to roll a little bit to get it to go into reverse on a manual car in general, or at least have like a little bit of wiggle room, back and forth movement. And I think I was sitting there with the e-brake on, or the e-brake had been on, so the brakes were kind of stuck, so I don't think that was helping. But the other part was we had to bleed the clutch again. So my reverse bleed method worked really good, but I don't think, because I was doing a hand pump, I don't think that it filled enough fluid up. There was no air in the system, which is why it worked totally fine when I went on a drive, but it wasn't fully expanded with fluid. The master cylinder on the actual transmission, or throw out bearing essentially, wasn't fully filled with fluid, so it wasn't allowing much like grab room. So we bled it again, just to make sure, and eventually got it right. So now it's good, it drives fantastic right now. And then the second part is that rattle noise went away after the first few drives, and after we bled the clutch a little better, that went away. So I think it was a combination, things just needed to warm up and settle in. And then the other part is that's always a possibility of hearing that little rattle when you go with a single mass clutch or a flywheel, because they don't, the factory, the way the bearings work inside of the transmission, they kind of need that dual mass to keep the bearings in place and not making noise. So it doesn't hurt anything if you hear that rattle. It's kind of like a 50-50 chance when you do a single mass on these 716s if you're gonna get that rattle. Earlier 716s way more likely than the later ones. So I was a bit surprised that we heard it on this, but then also not too surprised when it went away after we had ran the car for a little bit more and I took it out for a few more drives, and after we bled the clutch, the noise went away. So that was good. The last elephant in the room was you guys started to see some weird electrical things pop up, like the check engine light. It wasn't actually from the engine. It was because our rear SAM was failing, which you guys will see in a video next week. But our rear SAM was going out, and that's why we had no brake lights, no turn signals, the rear sunshade wasn't working, and we're still trying to figure out a few more things. But all those things got fixed with me figuring out some things on the car. So you guys will see that in the video later, but just figure I should mention that as well too. Besides that, guys, I could probably sit and talk about things that I, felt like I did wrong, or things that I might have missed. And even if I sit here and talk to you guys, I'm probably still gonna forget something to mention that I probably wanted to or will think about afterwards. But overall, I try to provide you guys with as much information and visuals as I can and could during this whole project, as I always will and always have been trying to do with every video I make for you guys on this channel. Can't thank all the people enough that helped me out on this build. That's friends-wise, buddies from interwebs, and just all my friends that try to support in whatever way they could. And not to mention as well the companies that got involved. Kangaroo's team, Mercedes Swap Shop, Garagistic, Creative Steel was a big one with the transmission mounts and the engine mounts. So it was a collective effort from me and friends and family, and definitely a village to raise the car. And I'm very appreciative of all of you guys that I've mentioned here. And one last big special thank you, and you guys rag on me about this all the time, this scenario, but my stepdad Mike, Mike, if you're watching, love you, and you guys hopefully can see it on camera. We get along pretty good, but you guys will comment every once in a while saying Mike's doing all the work and this and that, and to be honest, Mike is a hell of a mechanic and just a hell of a fix anything person, DIY guru and maverick, and I've learned probably 90 to 95% of everything I know about working on these things from him. So when he gets here and I'm the one that has to be filming, he just jumps in and starts working on stuff because he knows what to do. I don't need to tell him anything to do. He knows all this stuff like the back of his hand for the most part, besides like weird German details that I'll try to fill him in on or whatever. But he just starts going, and my job is to wrench and film and then edit and do all that other stuff. So I know it looks like I'm just telling him get to work, but I promise it's not like that. Me and him have some good laughs about that off camera. I'm trying to plan a funny skit that we can do that illustrates this whole scenario for you guys. But yeah, overall, just a huge thank you to Mike. I promise we'll get him in to drive the cars. You guys always request, like, let Mike drive the cars because he put in so much work, and I think he just enjoys wrenching and enjoys hanging out. I try to get him to drive the cars, to be honest, but I don't know, it's not like his, I don't know, it's not his prerogative, I guess. So we'll get him in the cars though, for sure. I gotta get him to drive the CLK, and we'll get him to drive this. We'll make a whole video about it. I promise we'll do that sometime this year. So yeah, just big thank you to you, Mike. All the people on the channel definitely recognize all the work you put in with me. So you guys know, I don't think most of these projects and channel would exist without a big helping hand from Mike. So thank you. And yeah, I don't know, I think that probably will do it right there, guys. I guess the last thing to finish off with, I can make a video on this, and I probably plan to be honest, because I have experience of 3 different swaps now at this point. And I've done a breakdown, I guess, already, but cost wise on this build, just rough estimate, I think I bought the trans for around $300 locally. The clutch kit from Kangaroo's team, if you guys buy them, are I think a little under $1,000. So that's $1,300 right there. The shifter was a prototype that Kangaroo's team sent to me, but still not that expensive from them. I want to say between $100 and $150. So let's chalk it up to around $1,450 right there, for maybe $1,500. Pedals, you're gonna have to find somewhere out in the world, usually between $80 and $120. Drive shaft between $80 and $150. And then all the other little bits and bobs. I think I pulled this one off for probably less than, in your guys, like if you guys are purchasing all this stuff, probably less than $1,800. For me, I think I spent probably just around the $1,500 mark, which is still online with the first time I did it. So I think I probably spent a little less this time, to be honest, just because I had the help of sponsors and you know, a few parts that I already had lying around, but really close. I think the first time I did this, I spent just under $1,600. And then I also recouped a good chunk of that from selling the automatic, which this time around, I'm not selling the automatic, I'm keeping it. I'm gonna try to build it as kind of a beefy backup for, I don't know, a future project. And then the shift controller, or you know, electronic shifter, TCM, all that stuff, I'll probably keep around to have again as backups. But if you sold all that stuff, you can expect to get anywhere from, let's say, $500 to $800 back for all the automatic components. So you get to minus that from your overall total. So you could very easily end up with less than $1,000 all in for this type of swap. So that's where I'm at for this one. I think I'm planning, we'll try to make it happen to do a live answering any questions or anything like that, or just talking about where I'm at with the car. We'll go from there, but that'll go ahead and wrap it up, guys. I hope you really enjoyed the series. Genuinely, I do really hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned something from it. Can go back and visit it if you ever do decide to manual swap something of yours, or maybe you go out and buy a project because you see that it's possible now. And really, that's kind of one of the big missions of putting these videos out and just showing you guys that it's possible, and the regular DIYer can do it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for all your support through this whole build. It has been a roller coaster for sure, but I'm so happy to have it here and be able to drive it. I will catch you guys on the next one. Thank you. Peace.